Have you ever looked around your home, sipping your morning tea, and thought, am I the only one living like this? I've lived alone for years now, and let me tell you, it's not what most people think. There's freedom, yes, but also truths that aren't spoken out loud. Today, I'm going to share 5 surprising facts every senior woman living alone must know. Things that can change how you feel, how you plan, and even how you enjoy your life. Make sure you stick with me until the end, especially if you live alone or are thinking about it, because the last fact might completely surprise you. And before we jump in, if you're watching this, go ahead and hit like, comment below with I live alone, if that's you, and subscribe so you don't miss the honest conversations we have here. Here's the first surprising truth. Living alone doesn't automatically mean you're lonely. Most people assume that women our age who live alone spend every evening staring at the walls, feeling invisible. That's the stereotype, isn't it? The quiet house, the empty chairs at the table, the phone that doesn't ring. People think it's a lonely existence. But the reality is far more nuanced. Some evenings are quiet, yes, and there are days when it hits you. The house feels too still. The echo of your own footsteps reminds you of the absence of others. But these moments are fleeting, and they are also precious. Because living alone gives you the freedom to be entirely yourself. No compromises, no negotiations, no trying to fit someone else's schedule or moods. You can wake up at 6 a.m. and make yourself a pot of tea just the way you like it. You can put on music, dance in your kitchen, or sit for hours in your favorite chair, reading a book or watching the sunrise in perfect peace. And the beautiful part? That quiet allows for reflection, for truly listening to yourself. Many women I've spoken with, women who have been alone for years, describe a surprising kind of joy. They discover passions they hadn't explored, friendships they hadn't prioritized, and even a renewed sense of purpose. One friend of mine took up painting after her husband passed. She started with simple sketches, but now her walls are full of vibrant colors, each one a testament to the fact that living alone gave her the space to create something truly hers. Loneliness can sneak in, of course. It's natural and it's human. But it doesn't define living alone. It's not constant. And the trick isn't to wait for company or fill the silence with noise. The trick is to curate your own life in a way that makes solitude nourishing rather than empty. A walk in the park, a cup of tea with a friend once a week, a call to a neighbor. Small, intentional moments of connection make a world of difference. And when those days of quiet come, you no longer dread them, you treasure them. Fact number 2, living alone gives you freedom few people appreciate until they experience it. Think about it. Every choice in your day, from the moment you wake to the moment you go to sleep, is entirely yours. You decide when to get up, what to eat, when to clean, when to nap, and even when to take a long bath just because you can. There's no one telling you, don't do that, or, come on, hurry up. Every decision, every small action is yours. And for many women, that control feels liberating in ways that surprise you. But here's the flip side. With freedom comes responsibility, and responsibility can feel heavy. Bills need paying, groceries need buying, appointments must be kept, and your health can't be ignored. You can't rely on someone else to notice when things are going wrong or to take care of what needs doing. That's the part that scares people before they live alone. They imagine freedom, but they forget the discipline it requires. Here's what I've learned over the years. Freedom without structure can quickly turn into overwhelm, but freedom with a little routine becomes empowerment. Make small, intentional routines, a grocery day, a laundry day, a walk every morning, and suddenly life becomes manageable, even enjoyable, You can structure your environment around your own preferences. You don't have to compromise, and you don't have to constantly negotiate. Want to eat breakfast at 10 a.m.? Go for it. Want to repaint the kitchen in a color nobody else will like but you love? Do it. And the joy of control extends far beyond the home. When you live alone, you make the rules for your social life too. You say yes to invitations that bring you joy and no to things that drain you. You prioritize your energy, your peace, your happiness. That kind of self-directed living is rare, and many women discover a sense of confidence they never had when someone else's needs or schedules dominated their days. So yes, living alone has challenges, but it also offers one of the greatest gifts of life after 60, the ability to live entirely on your own terms. The third fact might make you pause. Safety isn't just about locking your doors. When people think about older women living alone, the first image that comes to mind is often a home security system, deadbolts, and maybe a flashlight by the bed. And yes, those things matter, but safety is far more than the physical kind. Emotional and practical safety is equally, if not more, important. What does that mean? It means having people in your life who genuinely care about you. A neighbor who checks in once a week. A friend you can call in the middle of the night if you need to talk. Someone who knows you well enough to notice when something seems off. That support network is part of staying safe, because living alone doesn't mean living isolated. It also means trusting yourself to ask for help. Many women, especially those of us who grew up being independent, feel a strange guilt about asking for help. We worry we'll be a burden. But here's the truth. Knowing when to ask and having the courage to do it is one of the smartest moves you can make. Whether it's help carrying groceries, a doctor's visit, or a home repair, asking doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. Safety also comes from being prepared and informed. Simple habits like keeping a charged phone nearby, scheduling regular health checkups, and making sure someone always knows your plans go a long way. But beyond that, it's about feeling secure in your independence. There's a mental shift that happens when you realize that safety isn't just about avoiding danger. It's about creating a life where you can thrive confidently, knowing help is there if you need it, but that you are fully capable of managing your own world. When you embrace that mindset, living alone doesn't feel risky or isolating. It feels intentional. It feels like control, like strength, like a personal victory every single day. And once you see safety this way, the fear that others often project onto women living alone begins to melt away. You start to see freedom and confidence where you once saw risk. Here's the fourth surprising fact. Your finances affect your independence more than almost anything else. When you live alone, money suddenly becomes much more than a background detail. Every decision, from what groceries you buy to whether you take that spontaneous weekend trip, depends entirely on your own resources. And for many women, that can feel intimidating at first. You might worry about bills stacking up, medical expenses, or even just having enough for small pleasures without guilt. But here's the truth I've learned. Understanding your finances isn't a burden. It's freedom in disguise. Knowing exactly what's coming in and going out gives you control. It gives you peace of mind, and it allows you to make choices that are truly yours, rather than choices driven by fear or uncertainty. I remember when I first started managing everything on my own after my husband passed. At first, I was overwhelmed by the stack of bills, insurance papers, and unexpected expenses. But once I sat down, organized it all, and created a simple plan, something shifted. I felt lighter. I felt in charge. I realized that money, when understood and managed, doesn't restrict you. It empowers you to live on your own terms. Financial confidence also opens doors you might not have considered before. Want to take a class? Go ahead. Want to join a small travel group? You can. Want to invest in something that excites you? Now you know you can. Money becomes not just a practical tool, but a way to protect your independence and expand your life. And here's something few people tell you. It's not about being rich. It's about knowing your numbers and having a small cushion, something to rely on when life throws an unexpected twist. Even a modest emergency fund gives you enormous peace of mind. You wake up in the morning without that nagging anxiety about what if, because you know you can handle whatever comes your way. That, more than anything else, is true freedom for a woman living alone. Finally, fact number 5. Living alone can make you stronger and more magnetic than ever. When people see an older woman who lives alone, they often imagine someone fragile, lonely, or missing out on life. But here's the truth. The women who embrace living alone, who lean into their independence, who navigate challenges with grace, these are the women who radiate confidence, wisdom, and strength. There's a quiet kind of power in being the one who makes her own decisions. You don't wait for someone else's approval. You don't hesitate because of fear, and you don't shrink to fit someone else's expectations. That kind of self-assuredness is visible. People notice it, even if they can't put their finger on why. Friends gravitate toward it, family respects it, and strangers often pause, drawn to it without knowing exactly why. Living alone teaches you resilience in a very intimate way. You learn to handle small crises, to celebrate victories on your own, and to face fears without leaning on someone else as a crutch. You learn to trust your judgment and feel secure in your choices, and that confidence ripples into every part of your life. Even simple things like hosting a friend for dinner or attending a community event alone feel empowering instead of intimidating. And there's another side to it. Living alone encourages deep self-reflection. You understand your likes and dislikes, your rhythms, your boundaries, and your desires in ways that are impossible to fully know when you're always accommodating someone else. That self-knowledge, combined with the independence you've cultivated, creates a woman who is not only surviving but thriving, who moves through life with intention, grace, and quiet magnetism. So yes, living alone has its challenges: financial worries, moments of loneliness, practical responsibilities, but it also gives you something priceless: freedom, resilience, confidence, and the joy of living life fully on your own terms. And when you embrace that, you'll realize that solitude isn't a limitation. It's an invitation to grow, shine, and discover the extraordinary strength that already lives inside you. Don't isolate yourself. Join a class, a club, or even our Savvy Senior newsletter community, where women share stories, advice, and support. Living alone doesn't mean living disconnected. It means living intentionally, with your own rhythm and power.